We are live.
Good timing. Good timing. Should I send something to Instagram?
That's fine. I reminded 2 people that we were doing this.
I reminded about 15.
Well, given our success rate of reminding people, that means we'll have the over-under is 1.5.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, there's one. Keep in mind, you've got Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day. What does it say about you and me that we're doing this?
That we're happily married for 20 years. We don't need.
Our wives love us and let us do stuff that we want to do.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, I wonder if the one viewer wants to chat us up and tell us who they are.
The internet connection.
You're freezing bad, man. Kevin, we've lost the host.
There we go.
I don't know what happened there.
I don't know either, but I just kicked some kids off the internet and it came back.
I think that's what we lost our one viewer.
Damn it. It might have been my wife.
Telling the kids to get off the computer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
I didn't think it was.
Let's roll, man.
Let's go.
You ready? What happened in sports recently?
It's funny. There was something the other day that was on, and when I looked at it, all I saw was some dude like with this on, and it was kind of snowing or something, but I don't know what that was.
Are you talking about Olympics? Or are you talking about the after Super Bowl party?
Both. No, man, the Winter Olympics. That's what you're talking about, right? Nothing else is going on.
Yeah, the Winter Olympics may be the 30th most exciting sporting set of events ever.
30th.
Wow. I'm not sure I can name another 29 sports, but there it is.
Let me tell you something, and I know we're not going to talk about the Winter Olympics tonight if we ever do, but some of the events in that thing look like you could die.
You mean the 1040 triple twist stuff and you're like 40 feet in the air?
Well, no, that too. But yeah, that too. But I'm talking about those the sleds and the things going 80 miles an hour down those tracks.
Are you talking about bobsleds and luges?
Yes. Thank you. Luge and bobsled. Yes. That's how much I watch.
One luges, I think, feet first, and is it sculling? Is head first?
Yeah, I think you're right. And then you get inside the bobsled.
Yes.
You sit in that thing.
We're clearly experts in the Winter Olympics. All right, let's talk about the Super Bowl, man.
Yes, sir. Good game.
It was a close game. There were certainly moments where it was compelling. I'm not sure start to finish it was that exciting, though. And I can't believe I'm saying that about a 3-point victory.
Well, you know what I think kind of altered our thinking is the fact that the last 6 playoff games, the 4 divisional weekend playoff games, and the 2 conference championship games were so good, like so well played and close and tight, and you were just on the edge of your seat. And then last night it was kind of ho hum, like you said. I mean, it's a bunch of 3 and outs. The punting wasn't that good. Not that you watched to watch some guy punt, but man, Hecker, I thought was supposed to be a good punter. He did not look good last night. But yeah, it was just. I'll say this though, it started off. And I thought, the Rams are going to roll them. And that's what I was predicted anyway. I predicted the Rams were going to roll them by 2 touchdowns. And they sure looked like they were about to. And the first touchdown to OBJ made you feel – I don't know how people feel about OBJ, but a lot of people say the MVP of the Super Bowl should have been his dad for putting the video up to get him out of Cleveland. But he gets the first touchdown. They go up 7-0. Cincinnati comes back, gets a field goal. You're like, eh. And then the Rams go right down the field and score again. You're like, this isn't good. Then OBJ gets hurt. And that changed the Rams' game plan huge. I mean, because Woods is already out, right? OBJ replaces him. Now he's out. Their starting tight end's out. Their second string tight end, for some reason, I think he got hurt last night. So they had their third string tight end, Hopkins, who might be Lee's cousin, who made himself some money last night. I think he caught 4 or 5 passes for like 60 yards. But they didn't adjust, and I know we'll talk about the second half in a minute, and that's when I think they finally adjusted. But they did not adjust to having OBJ out. They couldn't run the ball. It was kind of a boring first half. But Cincinnati made a couple good plays that you brought up earlier. Mixon, the pass that Mixon threw to T. Higgins, that was a pretty cool play.
Well, so look, I hate to focus on the not so fun aspects, but I can't remember the last time a Super Bowl had 7 sacks for one team. Like Burrow goes down 7 times. Stafford throws 2 interceptions. There was a period in the second half where Cincinnati had the ball 3 different possessions and had a total of 0 yards on those 3 possessions. Cooper Kupp doesn't go out of bounds when he clearly should have at the end of the half. Stafford's balls were one moment really accurate, the next moment it's like he had his eyes closed on some throws. It was a weirdly played game. Look, hats off to both defenses. Both defenses, the Rams are as good as you would assume they are, given the talent that they brought to LA. But the Bengals surprisingly had a really good defensive effort. I think you hold that offense, even though OBJ's out, you hold that offense at 23 points in the game, especially after they came out really hot. They scored 10 minutes effectively in the last 10 points in the last 2.5 quarters. Their defense showed up. The Bengals, their offensive line has to go down as the worst offensive line. I can't speak to 55 years ago, but I can certainly speak to the last 25 years. That's the worst offensive line. And let me remind folks, all 2 of them that are on right now, they gave up 70 sacks between the regular season and the postseason. That's the 3rd most number of sacks given up by one team in the history of Super Bowl football.
Yep.
That's crazy. And that team was in the playoffs and was in a 3-point game. That's insane.
So what do you think? Because we've gone around about this. What got them to this point then? Because I agree. Like I before the game, I'm thinking this is not a great team. Obviously, I mean Burrow is an up and coming. He's second-year quarterback. He's got some weapons. The defense has been, to your point, the defense has been playing pretty good the playoffs. They've looked really good. It's kind of kept them in these games. But what in the world has gotten them to the Super Bowl? Because hey, look, I'm a proud Charger fan. We've had more talent than this and plenty of times and can't get there to the Super Bowl. What do you think it is?
I don't know that your defense has played as well on a playoff run as the Bengals defense has played. And yeah, I can't explain Cincinnati going to the Super Bowl given how bad their offensive line was. I don't understand it. And look, the NFL's lots of situations that come up in games. Sometimes there are physical errors made. Sometimes there are mental errors made. Sometimes the coaches call the wrong play at the wrong time. And then you stack all those up. More things have to go your way than not. And a lot of it is circumstantial. And I mean, some people call it luck. Some people call it preparation. But yeah, I think the Bengals had a better season than people thought they would. Clearly, I think their team's a little bit better than people thought it was. But I'll be surprised if they make it to the Super Bowl in the next couple of years. I don't know how they get past the Bills and or Chiefs again.
Yeah, and that's they were talking about that on TV a lot today. Are the Bengals done? Is this like a one and done thing? Did it just kind of luckily happen for them? And they played well, but did it kind of get fortunate? They do have some really good pieces in place. Obviously, Burrow, Higgins, and Chase. I think their tight end's good. Their running back's good. They've got a couple good defensive players. I think they just need to shore up the offensive line. And I know I say just need to. That's not an easy thing to do. It's not just going out and getting 4 or 5 new guys. They have to play together for some time. There has to be some gelling. I mean, it's going to take a while for an offensive line to get there. But if they get that, And while they're doing that, keep putting pieces on that defense. And look, let's be honest, you got to sign your free agents. You got to keep some of these weapons. You never know. Wow, watching Kansas City in the playoffs this year, watching Tennessee, watching some of these teams in the AFC, that they weren't impressive. They just weren't. And so it's easy for us to say, I don't think Cincinnati will be back, but I mean, is Kansas City going to go back next year to being the Kansas City of old? I don't know. We thought they were this year, and they laid a big egg in the second half against the Bengals. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you what. Let's keep talking about the game, and we'll talk about the highlight of the game, which may have been the halftime show in a little bit. But one of the things that was frustrating me watching it, just being a football fan, was it felt like neither coach was making any adjustments at all. They just kept. I mean, it felt like McVay was handoff, first down, handoff, second down, try pass, third down, punt it, and it's like, hey, dude, you scored 3 points the last time you were in this game, and you talk all week about how you can't let that happen again. And here you are not making any adjustments. Finally, the fourth quarter, he starts going no huddle, changed the tempo of the game, and they went down the field. I wouldn't say easily, but they converted a fourth down with Kupp running the ball and got down to the inside the 10-yard line. A couple penalties. I think one of them was legit. The Cooper Kupp hit. I mean, Cooper, they almost knocked him out, and then there was a hold, so it was offsetting penalties. So literally that knockout shot didn't do anything but knock him out. And then he turns around and gets the winning touchdown. But, yeah, he finally made some adjustments, McVay. So I give him credit for doing that. Of course, you got to give Stafford credit for leading that touchdown drive. So, yeah, I think the last 10 minutes were fun. The first 50 were kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the 2 touchdown drives for the Rams at the beginning were decent football to watch. But, yeah, most of the game was I wouldn't call it unwatchable because it's hard to call any Super Bowl game unwatchable. But it was, to your point earlier, all the other playoff games, or most of them, were more compelling to watch. And certainly recent Super Bowl games have been more compelling to watch.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably the worst football game to watch for a couple of reasons. One, everything we just talked about, but also, like, how many Rams fans and Bengals fans are there outside of those 2 metro areas? That's a good point. And friend of the show, friend of the podcast, TJ Gwynn, was actually in LA during the game. He said he didn't get a chance to go to the game, and he was out there mingling with his fan friends. So Doomps chimed in. What's up, Doomps? And he said, get the O-line straight. The Bengals can get back to Super Bowl and win it. I mean, hey, you keep all their pieces together in the skill positions on offense, and you keep most of that defense intact. They have a decent chance. Since we're talking about the O-line again, the last sack, 4th and 1. By the way, if you're Zach Taylor and you're talking about the coaches not adjusting, Taylor's 38, McVay's 36. I mean, Sometimes experience helps you in those situations. It felt like they were going through things for the first time ever. McVay had been in the Super Bowl before, but it felt like till the very end he wasn't really keeping up with strategy or reacting to what the other team was doing well. But Aaron Donald is clearly going to get double teamed on that last play, right? You've got 5 offensive linemen. You know where Donald is, where he's lined up. The only way he beats you is if he goes to the outside shoulder of the left guard. That's the only way. And that left guard has to know that.
Yeah.
How does he get beat that badly? And then if you're Zach Taylor, it was 2nd and 1, I think, on that series.
Was it?
It was definitely 3rd and 1. They didn't pick up
3rd and 1.
First down, 3rd and 1. And 4th and 1, it's a full yard. It's a pass or run, and I get Mixon hadn't been tearing it up. But you go shotgun, and whatever patterns you had your guys running, the first guy wasn't open.
Right.
Run a pick play. Run something.
Yeah, that's
the fact that Burrow looked at his first read and then tried to turn. It was too late, and you knew Donald was going to do something big. And now that we're talking about Donald, Cooper Kupp is a hell of a player. I don't want to take anything away from him other than that bad throw on that Philly special play they ran, and then not ran as well as I mentioned earlier. And he scored 2 touchdowns. He was a big part of their offense. I think he deserved the MVP of the regular season or the entire season more than he deserved the MVP of that game because Aaron Donald was a wrecker. He wrecked most of the game for the Bengals.
Yeah, you can't. Von Miller had 2 sacks, but mostly because Aaron Donald was wrecking everything else.
Because Aaron
Yeah,
Donald.
I can't argue with that. I think Cooper Kupp is an amazing player. It's funny how I've seen so many things online where how is he always open? Like he's always open, and a lot of that scheme, but also he runs great patterns. He knows where to go. He knows how to sit down in the zone defense. He knows what he's doing. He's got great hands, and he's tough as nails. He is a great receiver. So I can't argue with him getting the MVP, but you're right. I mean, if anybody's going to get the MVP other than him, it would have to be Aaron Donald. I'm glad he didn't give it to the quarterback because that would have been a highway robbery. I mean, a nice drive at the end there, but Stafford did not deserve to be the MVP of that game. But back to your point on that 4th and 1, because Donald even said after the game when they went in the shotgun, he's like, "What? Well, that kind of limits what you're going to do now, so I'm coming." Right? And how many times have we seen Tom Brady make a quick pass, not to bring Brady into it, but make a quick pass right there on 4th and 1 and convert? I mean, you got to get that done quickly. You just can't take time. And did you think Perrine, the running back, could have dove for that ball? Because when he first threw it, he slung him around and he kind of threw it. I saw Perrine there. I thought, oh my God, he's going to be able to get that. I don't know. Maybe the angle I was looking at was different, but it seemed like he didn't make an effort at it. He kind of just saw it and was like, oh, well, there it goes.
Well, Perrine didn't touch the ball the entire game, right? So I can't imagine he was super focused or ready on that play, even though you think he would because that was the game. That play was clearly the game. Yeah. Here's the other thing about Kupp, and I don't watch a ton of film, but I do watch a lot of football as the games are being played.
You don't watch film?
No, I'm not. I don't study film. I'm sorry. I'm breaking that out for the world to hear. But Kupp, when you watch him throughout the playoffs, he doesn't take a play off, man. He is all in all the time.
All in.
Wait a minute. Who is Tampa K? Now I'm intrigued.
Zach Taylor be on later to explain his garbage play calling.
Did you call Taylor today? Did you call him?
No. Did I do something?
You were supposed to call Zach Taylor to get him on.
Oh,
I don't know who Tampa K is.
Well,
I'm intrigued.
I don't think he was answering any calls today.
Probably not, except the obligatory ones the NFL made him take.
So, hey, what about the and it reminded me when Rob wrote he was wide open several times and Burrow tried to force the ball to Chase. What about the face mask that wasn't called on that touchdown to T. Higgins? That was
that was pretty blatant. Like, there's no way one or two refs didn't see that. I think for most of that game, they decided they were going to keep their flags in their waistline.
I think I agree. It was like, hey, 50 minutes. But at some point at the end, they had to start throwing the flag. And dang on, they sure did. I was threatened.
This must be one of your buddies.
It's Tampa K. I don't know, Tampa K, you need to tell us who you are. I love it.
Or maybe we should let the mystery stay out there.
That's cool. Another friend of the podcast, Craig Grimes, Booney, was at the game.
He paid $6,000 to not be able to tell where the ball was during the game. There's no way he was anywhere near the field.
Now I get it. Kevin Elliott. I love it. He's going to be Tampa K. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. All right. So the Rams keep their stuff together maybe for another season or two. And they
I mean, they were talking about Donald not quitting, but retiring after he won his Super Bowl. I hope he doesn't. Well, for the rest of the league's sake, I hope he does. But yeah, I mean, if he stays, Ramsey stays, Von Miller, I don't know how much longer he's going to play, but yeah, I mean, why not? They've got a short window, but yeah, why not? We got to run it back. I think I read a too early power ranking today because you know how they do that. The season ends, they want to rank everybody for next year already, and they had the Rams third, and it just simply said run it back. So with the Chiefs first.
Well, the Chiefs and the Bills 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, Chiefs, Bills 1 and 2.
Yeah, to Rob's point about the refs not being consistent. I'm with you. I don't want to watch them throw a million flags. I also don't want them to hold the flag every single play. But when you go, 40 minutes of game time, no flags, and then you saw 4 flags inside the 12-yard line or whatever that trash was, that was brutal to watch. If you're gonna hold the flag for the rest of the game, hold the flag at the end. Unless it's
Yeah.
blatantly obvious, like Cup getting crushed like he did in the corner of the end zone. I think you have to throw the flag there.
Well, I mean, there was two that were questionable. I think one of them was the right call, and the other one wasn't. The two holding calls on defense. But I think one of them might have been on first down. The one that was probably legit, and the one that wasn't legit was like third or fourth down. So, yeah, that's tough, man. If you're a Bengals fan, you're whew.
Do you call that face mask on Higgins if you saw it and you're one of the refs?
I think you have to, don't you?
He turned his head, right?
I mean, he turned his head and kind of pulled him down.
Yeah, he went.
I mean, the momentum's already going that way, but he jerked his head around and threw him on the ground. I mean, I'm not a big Jalen Ramsey fan, but you kind of got to call that.
I think that gets called every other time. If it was any other game but the Super Bowl, it probably gets called.
Which is amazing because you would think in the Super Bowl that's the one game they would call it. But
all right, who did you think Cup deserved the MVP?
Well, I mean, when I was watching last night, I thought it was going to be Donald, Cup, or Stafford because they always give it to the quarterback, even if he doesn't deserve it. And when they didn't give it to Stafford and gave it to Cup, I was happy about that. But I could see your point from earlier that Donald was a game wrecker. Donald was, I mean, he was the difference at the end. I mean, the third and one stop where literally he grabbed him around his waist with one hand. Gaines helped him out, but pretty much stopped it because I thought he was going to get it. And all of a sudden, the guy just stopped. And it was Perrine, I believe. And he just pulled him down on the ground. And then we've talked about the fourth down play where he just his will to win the championship came through. So yeah, Donald probably should have won it. What do you? I mean, I know you think that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of co-MVPs, and I don't think Cup had an outstanding game. He was certainly in the MVP conversation, but I think Donald should have taken it. All right, let's talk about the halftime show because we're of a certain age, and I think everybody that's checking this out right now is of a certain age where I was really looking forward to the halftime show. It's the first time the entire halftime show has had rappers, right? There have been rapper appearances, but not the entire show being rappers.
I don't think so. I mean, you had Mary J. Blige last night who wasn't necessarily rapping, but to your point, yeah, the main act was rap, and you couldn't come up with a better lineup than and think about it. Dr. Dre orchestrated all that. That's all his guys. I mean, that had to have been a proud moment for him to be in front of the world stage with his guys that he kind of brought up into the game. But there's two things I wish would have happened. One, I was hoping Ice Cube was going to come out at some point. They're in Los Angeles. I don't know if he is on the same wavelength with these guys. I know he is, like, rapper-wise. He's that good. But for something, I was just expecting maybe that to happen. And then number two, I thought it was too short. I know you can't make it a 45-minute show because there's guys in the locker room waiting to play the second half. Did you see the Bengals kicker watch the halftime show?
Yeah, he was probably he had listened to his mom's Sounds of the 90s CD or whatever. Yeah, it was a history lesson for him.
Doom said 50 Cent is now dollar bill. It did look like somebody ate 50 Cent. He's put on some weight. And they were hanging him upside down. I think that is paying homage to his first album or something.
It was his first video off his first album. Yeah.
Right. So that probably was a little scary for him last night. Hope this rope holds.
I thought Dre looked super proud of what happened. I think he thought that was the coolest thing maybe he's ever done. Snoop Dogg is entertaining as hell no matter what he's doing. Eminem can get a crowd going like no other. And I thought Kendrick Lamar's stuff was good too.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan because I don't really listen to him. But yeah, I thought that was my wife said, "Is he that short?" Because he was tiny in front of the rest of the dancer guys he had with him. I was like, yeah, I guess he is. But I was kind of hoping Marshall Mathers would get another song in. But I mean, you don't have, like I said, you don't have so much time, and Dre's the main guy really of that group, so you got to let him sing again. But California Love. Now, if they would, I was talking to somebody beforehand because we knew California Love as we played. They're playing the Super Bowl in California. That's a big song for Dre and Tupac. I was wondering if they were going to do the second verse and have somebody sing or rap Tupac's part, or put a hologram up of Tupac rapping that part. But I guess they couldn't go that far, and it would have took too long.
I'm not proud of this next question, Kevin, but what did you think of the set?
I thought it was awesome. I thought the best Super Bowl set I've seen.
I thought the LA landscape thing that covered the field was cool. I guess the houses they were houses along the coastline kind of vibe. Is that what they were doing?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if it was that or if it was kind of the row house thing from back in the day. I don't know, but the cars were cool. Yeah, it was a great set, and them being on top, and then Snoop coming down into the where I think Snoop was sitting on the sofa for somebody's. When somebody started rapping after him, he was sitting. Maybe it was Mary J. Blige. He was down there sitting on the sofa, probably smoking a doobie, knowing Snoopy.
All right, hold on. We've got a lot to address on these chats. Tampa K saying, where have all the great punters gone? It's a great question. Look, if you have a young kid, boy or girl, get them punting. It's the greatest job in professional sports.
Bo,
you might have
here.
to once every 7 games. But yeah, and punters matter. I think punters can be important every once in a while in a game. Eminem kneeling. Oof. I don't know. Do we want to touch that one? He was clearly that was meant to be symbolic.
Well, the NFL knew about it, and they were like,
they said that whatever you're expressing yourself, go for it.
Well, you know what? It's funny. You and I have talked about this, and we're not going to get into this conversation because we talk sports. But I've often wondered. Remember that movie, A Time to Kill, with Matthew McConaughey?
Mm-hmm.
When he's in the courtroom and he's telling the story about what happened to the little girl.
Yes, everybody close their eyes and imagine. Yeah,
close it and imagine it. The only thing I would ever say about that is if Colin Kaepernick had been Tom Brady, what would have happened? Would we be where we are now? But anyway, so yeah, Eminem. I honestly, the funny thing is, and maybe I've kind of watched myself move when he was kneeling. I didn't catch it right away. And then I saw him continue to kneel. I was like, oh, okay, I got it. I didn't. But you know what? Back to the punter thing, and I hate to move from such a powerful subject back to punting, but I think you and I talked about Hecker. Hecker was a great punter at one point.
Yeah, hold on. Rob throwing some stats at us, dude.
I know, and I see those stats, but he had 43-yard average when we were kids. That was fantastic. Now, not so much. But if he was pinning them inside the 20, I guess not bad. But I swear, in the first half, it felt like he was kicking off the side of his foot. I mean, it didn't feel like he was doing a good job at all. And the Rams got good field position the whole first half. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, I know you edit these. At the 27-minute mark, it's the worst segue in the history of our podcast. We're talking about Eminem kneeling, and then we jump back to punters. That was awesome.
Hey, well, that's what we do on this podcast. We mix it up.
We do mix it up.
Long snapping. That's a great point. Before you go any further, Kevin just said long snapping. If you can't get your kid to be a punter, get him to be a long snapper. I believe we all have a common friend from the bakery days. That son is now a long snapper at Army. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not. Can you say the name?
Mike McCutcheon.
Really?
I'm on. Look, we don't fact check on here, but I'm pretty sure.
We have a crack research staff. Who's, by the way, showing up tonight with his crack research.
He does. Thank you, Rob. And you're right. Keep me straight. Hecker probably did better than I think. Maybe I'm used to Hecker bombing 60-yarders, and it didn't seem like he was doing it last night. He set the bar.
He's not 26 anymore.
Yeah. Man, we spent a lot of time talking about punters. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah, Tampa K really set us up for that one. All right,
maybe the K stands for kicker, not Kevin.
Well, last thing on long snappers, I can't believe I'm continuing to talk about punting and long snapping, but long snappers, nobody lines over top of them either, right?
No, not anymore.
Yeah, they're kind of a protected class. Dooms averaged 2 more yards per kick than I did back in the day.
Oh, there you go, Rob. Jack should have been a long snapper. 20 years.
Let's do predictions for records next season. Chargers.
Honestly, or with my heart?
No, honestly. I'm not looking for your heart pick. I know what your heart pick is.
I'll tell you what. I think the Chargers are a couple players away from being in the mix in the playoffs. And, I'm going to guess that we improve by 2 games to 3 games next year. So we were 9-8 this year, lost some games we should have won. I say we go I'm going to go out on a limb and say 12-5 and still finish second to the Chiefs.
Y'all are going to go 10-7, get into the wild card round, and we'll see what happens from there.
Wow,
yeah,
everybody's saying 10-7.
Dude, Skulls and I all say 10-7. Yeah, we're all geniuses. We'll see what happens.
It's all good.
All right, Bucks. If they pick up a decent quarterback, they'll go 10-7. If they don't pick up a good quarterback, 1-16. Gabbert does not instill a lot of confidence.
They're going to get a decent quarterback. I can't imagine they're going into the season with Blaine Gabbert as the starter.
Well, or Trask, which what was he, a second round pick? I mean,
from Florida. Yeah,
why when they talk about him, they say he can't make all the throws. I'm like, but he's a quarterback. If he's the tight end and can't make all the throws, that's fine. But there are only 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Do we really not have 32 humans on earth that can make all the throws? I mean,
Cooper
really.
Kupp can't make all the throws.
Well, but he's not a quarterback.
So yeah, here we go. Deshaun Watson.
I'll take him.
I bet you would.
Where's he going to end up?
Yeah, you might end up back in the Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. If everybody comes back.
Not everybody's coming back. We're going to miss Godwin and a couple other guys on defense. But all right, so hold on. Rob Dole's team is the Steelers. I'm going to predict. Are they going to land a quarterback? They're going to have to.
That's the thing. They have to.
They absolutely have to.
And I don't know, Rob. You can chime in on the chat, but it feels like your defense was pretty good this year. Not your typical Steelers defense. And your offensive line was a little suspect. I think that running back Najee Harris is really going to be a star. And you got a good young tight end, some good receivers. But you need a quarterback. It gets a quarterback. I mean, they go 10-7, 11-6.
Yeah, without a quarterback, they're 8-9, 9-8 if they're lucky.
Or as Doom said, 2-15.
I assume he was talking about the Steelers when he said that.
Well, I can tell you this. Hey, I can tell you this. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season as a Steelers head coach. So
he also had Roethlisberger the entire time.
He did. But
not that Roethlisberger's anything great the last 3 or 4 seasons, but Cole McCutcheon. There he is.
There you go.
Tampa K's saying Steelers 7-10. Oof. That's rough. I haven't seen that record in a long time.
Well, Tampa K is a Steelers fan.
So, we have 2 Steelers fans. What about Dooms? Who's Dooms like?
So Dooms used to like the Texans because Dooms is from Texas. And I think he got so fed up with what's going on the last year or so there with Hopkins leaving and Watt leaving. He tried to be a Cardinals fan, but I'm not sure it stuck because that's where Watt and Hopkins went. But I don't know. Dooms will have to tell you who he likes.
All right. Well, short of that, where's Aaron Rodgers going to land? We could probably end on that.
I think Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. I'll tell you what. I'm going to run down a few, and then I want you to respond. I think Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. I think Russell Wilson is heading somewhere.
I think he's headed to Washington, dude. I think he's headed to Washington.
He could. I mean, why not? But there's still the Giants out there. Something about that Giants situation makes me wonder. Because I can't imagine you're going to go in there with Daniel Jones again.
No, you're not. Russell Wilson's he's going to be on the East Coast somewhere.
Yep. So Garoppolo, I think we've talked about him going to Pittsburgh or going somewhere. He could up in Tampa. Not that you want him. I don't know.
I don't want Garoppolo in Tampa, but he's better than what they got right now. Garoppolo in Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense, right? He's a game manager. He's not going to do anything super flashy. He's not going to blow most games. He will blow some games with a stupid interception in the fourth quarter. I don't know. I wouldn't mind any of those quarterbacks ending up in Tampa except for Garoppolo.
So Deshaun Watson, where does he end up? That's the wild card right there. He's had a year off.
He could end up in Denver.
You know what? We didn't even think about Denver, did we? Because they were talking about Rodgers in Denver for a long time. And I see Rob thinks Rodgers and the Steelers are a match made in heaven. And yeah, it would be. Rodgers and Adams combo is going to Denver. Wow. Let's hope not. Good gracious. Don't bring them to my division. I don't need that.
You definitely don't need that. Does Jimmy G have a problem that I didn't know about?
Jimmy G?
Yeah, look at Tampa K's last chat.
Porn star Jimmy, man. Yeah, he.
You just say because he's good looking.
No. He. I think
We
he
don't
was
need to go too
dabbling.
far. I can
Well,
Google
no,
it.
it's a PG-13 rated show. I think he was dabbling with some dancers.
Okay.
Not recently. I think it's been a couple years, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess, when you look like Jimmy G.
All right. Well, here's what I'll say. But last thing I'll say about the Super Bowl, I don't want LA to be back.
I don't think either team's coming back next year or the year after either. I don't think we have to worry about it.
All right.
Honestly.
So who's in the Super Bowl next year? What's your prediction right now?
All right, I'm going to disqualify my team, so I can't pick my team because that would.
Well,
I'm not jinxing it. I'm just saying.
Okay,
I'm not picking my
right.
team. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's hard to say because who's going to be where, right? I don't know how good Trey Lance is going to be in San Francisco. I don't know is Kyler Murray leaving because the way that they're talking now, there's a bunch of mess going on there. He took all of his social media stuff about the Cardinals off. I don't know where people are landing. If I had to give you a guess and bet my house right now, I'd say Green Bay and Buffalo.
That's what I was gonna say. Who wins that game?
I mean, the way Rodgers has played in the playoffs, you'd have to think if he plays well enough to get them to the Super Bowl, because the one Super Bowl he was in, he played well. I think they won. I think he played well. It's been so long, gosh.
I think he was MVP
years.
of the game too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would think that Rodgers, it's going to be a warm. I don't know where the Super Bowl is next year, but it's pretty sure it's going to be a warm weather game.
It's in Scottsdale.
Buffalo's first time in the Super Bowl in tons of years. I would give Green Bay the edge if they make it to the Super Bowl.
We agree that who's going to be there, but I think Buffalo takes it, and I think they beat them up pretty badly, actually.
Okay.
Of course, that game probably doesn't happen.
Keep this tape because it looks like Rob agrees with us. Bills, Packers, Tampa K. Who you got? Dooms. Who you got? Since Dooms
agreed, I assume Bills, Packers.
Oh, he agreed. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Hey, Tampa K, Dooms, and Dulls. Appreciate you joining us tonight. There may have been 1, 2, or 3 other folks that didn't chat. You're encouraged to chat next time. It was a heck of a season. I enjoyed watching it. Sorry to see Brady retire, but another fun season.
Yeah, it was a fun season. I enjoyed it. My last, wardrobe for the year for football. I think next week we're talking NBA All-Star.
Yeah, we are.
Which is going to be a good time. I love it. And college basketball is heating up. So we're going to have some fun on Monday night. So you guys come back and have fun with us.
All right. Appreciate y'all joining us.
Later.